to Liberty Park Music. I'm Michelle Huang, your piano instructor. In our lesson today, we will be continuing our discussion of the Y key major scales. In the first part of the lesson, we will look at the fingerings for F major and B major scales and how they're different from the other 5 Y key major scales. Then we'll look at the corresponding arpeggios and the fingerings, as well as reviewing the thumb crossing techniques that we have talked about before. Let's first get started with the F major and B major scales. F major and B major are the 2 Y key major scales that follow a slightly different fingerings from the other 5 Y key major scales. Look carefully first at F major scale. Compare it to C major scale. The left-hand fingerings for both scales are the same, but the right-hand fingerings are different. In C major, the thumb tucks in after 3. In F major, however, the thumb tucks in after 4. The reason for this fingering change is because if we follow the fingerings of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, just the same as C major, we will end up with the thumb on a black key. Which is very awkward to play. Physically, it's more natural to place a 4 on B flat. As a result of outer fingering, we will end with a 4 in F major. Technically, we will need to remember to tuck the thumb all the way in. Past the 4th finger, transferring the weight from the 4th finger to the thumb. Coordination-wise, since the left hand has regular fingerings, we will need to remember that the right hand doesn't switch finger until 4. But the left hand switches fingers on 3, not 4. In B major scale, the right hand has the same fingering pattern as C, D, E, G, and A scales, but the left hand is different. It starts with 4, not 5. For the same reason as F major scale, starting on 5 will end up placing the thumb on a black key, which is awkward to play. The fingering on the left hand is easy to remember. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another way to remember the finger pattern is by the groupings of the black keys. The black keys on the keyboard is grouped into 2s and 3s. The fingerings on the screen here fits very nicely into these groupings of black keys. Technically, it makes sense to have 2, 3, and 4 on the black keys because those are the longest fingers, so it's easier to reach the black keys that way. Remember this black key group fingerings. It will become very helpful also when we talk about the black key major scales. This black key group fingerings work very well for the B major scale because it has all 5 sharps, covering all 5 of the black keys. Starting on 4, the 3 and 2 lay nicely on C sharp and D sharp. 1 on E, swings the 4 over, 4, 3, 2, 1 on B. Tuck the thumb in, If you notice, the right hand fingerings also follow the fingerings for the black key groupings very well. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2. Putting 2 hands together for this scale shouldn't be too hard, as long as you pay attention to the fingerings of the black key groupings. So far, we have talked about how to play all 7 of the white key scales in 1 octave. Next, let's talk briefly about how to play these scales in 2 octaves. We will use C major scale as an example. When we talk about playing a scale in 2 octaves, this simply means that in addition to the 1 octave we have played, we will go up another octave. So the first C and the last C you play will be 2 octaves apart. This will require that we continue to use the thumb crossing technique to help us navigate the range of the keyboard. If you look at the fingerings for C major scale in 2 octaves, let's take the right hand for example. You'll see that instead of ending the first octave with a 5, we simply tuck in the thumb again, pass the 4th finger, and begin another octave with thumb on C, repeating the same finger pattern as the first octave. This time, end with a 5, and descend with the same fingerings. The left hand follows the same idea. To continue going up past 1 octave, simply swings the 4 over and continue the alteration of 4 and 3, using the same fingering going down, tucking your thumb in. musical notes where both hands' fingerings correspond. This will help you keep track of where you are. For your homework, practice all white key major scales in 2 octaves. Next, we will talk about the fingerings and techniques for playing the white key major arpeggios. The white key major arpeggio fingerings is fairly straightforward. For the right hand, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5. The left hand, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. What's tricky about these white key major arpeggios is the thumb crossing technique. Because of the distance between the notes, the hands need to be in open position. Keep your hand in a natural position with a slightly more space in between your fingers. Tuck the thumb all the way in. Swings under. Quickly get into the next octave with the same hand position. Remember not to collapse your hand position or twisting your elbow. Think about traveling from left to right, horizontally. Coming back down is the same. Draw a semicircle with your wrist from 5 to 1. Swing the third finger all the way over to reach G. Remember not to twist the elbow, simply transferring the weight from thumb to 3. The left hand starts also with the natural hand position, with space in between the fingers. First, drawing a semicircle from 5 to 1 with the wrist. Swinging the 3 all the way over, resuming same hand position. Descending, tucking the thumb all the way. Watch not to twist the elbow or collapse the hand. Think left to right, right to left. When we put hands together, notice that 1 and 5 are corresponding fingers at the beginning and at the end. 2 and 3 are another set of corresponding fingers. Then the thumbs come together at the end of the first octave. Use these reference points to help you keep track of your fingerings. Let's play hands together, paying attention to the thumb crossing, thinking horizontally from left to right and right to left. For your homework, practice the other 6 white key major arpeggios, which will follow the exact same fingering patterns as C major scale. In this lesson, we learned the fingerings for the F major and B major scales and how they're different from the other white key major scales. We also talked about how to play these scales in 2 octaves and the correct fingerings and technique for the corresponding arpeggios. For your homework, do practice all 7 of the white key major scales and arpeggios in 2 octaves. See you next time.